coming. Good. Go.
Yes. I call the Personnel and Finance Committee to order. We have Commissioners Co-Chair Singleton and Citizen Representative Felicia Smith. It's April 23rd, 2025. First thing on the agenda is the no minutes. The meeting took place in March, so it's no minutes. First thing on the agenda, we have a public hearing,
Yeah, February minutes.
oh, the minutes for February, yeah, minutes.
Nothing for March.
Nothing for March. Pardon. Thank you, clerk. We had, next on the agenda is the public hearing, 2025 draft annual action plan. And I'll call the public hearing and it's open. Right? City manager had the floor.
Good evening, everyone. As you know, we're going through some interesting times when it comes to dealing with the federal government right now, and we have not received our allocation yet this year, but we're in the time period when we have to start this process, so we're using last year's figure as an estimate. We received $389,000 last year, and we hope to not get less than that this year, but that in order to comply with the HUD requirements, we needed to go ahead and proceed. So tonight I want to basically review the consolidated annual action plan for the upcoming year. As you know, we do this annually. It's designed to help grantees determine activities and organizations to fund in the coming year. We are required to do this every year and to set it up for a 30-day comment period, as well as to hold a public hearing. We hold a public hearing in the midst of that comment period so that we can incorporate any comments that come as a response to the public hearing. Every 5 years, we do a consolidated plan that covers 5 years, of which the first year is the action plan for that 5-year period. We'll be doing that next year. We'll be setting up our 5-year plan again. The annual action plan is submitted to HUD every year during that action 5-year consolidated plan cycle. The second page, as I mentioned, we're using the estimated allocation based on last year, which is $389,046. In terms of priority needs and goals, they've not changed significantly from the prior year, and it's consistent with what we had in our 5-year consolidated plan, which this is the last year of that last one. Number one, expand and improve public infrastructure and facilities. 2, affordable housing development and preservation. And in our case, it's housing rehabilitation. 3, public services and quality of life improvements. And for us, that typically means the summer youth program, which and also the community food nutrition program that we've been supplanting the diets of homebound senior citizens through a contract with the Meals on Wheels group. And in addition to delivering their food every day, we also pay for and have them deliver extra vegetables, fruits, and protein. The breakout, which again is an approximation on the 2025 action plan projects, is the 20% that's allowed for administration, approximately $77,809. The public services, as I mentioned, $46,500. That gets usually spent in the two activities. Some are used in the food and nutrition. The CDBG, where we've done sidewalk replacements and other improvements, including getting rid of the trees and some of the other things that we've been doing. And the estimated amount on that is $162,100. The housing program, which is typically housing rehab for us, we're projecting $102,637. And as I was making the point at the last commission meeting, because we get such a small amount, HUD gives us guidelines in terms of what percentages are allowed for the different areas, and there's such small amounts that Section 3 issue really doesn't apply.
Okay.
As I mentioned earlier, the city is holding the comment period. It began April 14 and will run through May 14 to give public an opportunity to review and make any comments on the draft amendment and the draft plan. And as I said, the public hearing, which is this tonight, has to take place within that time period. We expect to submit the annual plan, and as they actually need to be determined, it has to be within 60 days after the allocations are announced. And as we've not gotten them yet, we don't know what date the announcement is going to be. That's just a guideline. The program year starts July 1, 2025, consistent with federal fiscal year. And last page speaks if there are any questions can be contacted by phone or email and get whatever questions anybody has.
Okay. Good. You close it.
Ask questions.
Okay. I have a question, city manager. For the youth employment, so you estimate we're gonna get the same amount. You just going by that, so we could get more.
We could get more or we could get less.
Less. Okay. Okay. Because I think we hired 25.
We hired about 25 last
okay.
time. Yeah.
Yeah. It'd be nice to hire more, but you only can work with the money you have. I understand, but so we hope for higher numbers on that. Any questions?
No.
Time.
Yes, can you go back to the slide for the city youth employment? Right. Is there a possibility with administrative costs if we could, based on our chairman, shifting at least a minimum of like 2,500 down into the youth to get us closer to maybe 50 grand for youth employment, and seeing if we can bring in some more youth, because we want to kind of grow the program and just not kind of keep it stagnant. And sometimes administrative costs have some wiggle room. Just want to know if that's a possibility.
Regrettably, no, there isn't any wiggle room, and if it isn't, if what's there for administrative costs isn't there, that forces us to have to pull it from general fund where we've got all kinds of problems already. Right. So no, this is the best that we can do. Now, what I am doing is looking at other sources to try to see if we can find some of the other federal programs to the extent that it might be allowed. But at this point, nothing's committed. This is basically it.
Okay.
Question with the summer youth jobs. So the youth that are hired, they work throughout the city.
Yes.
We can't pull in any businesses to help with some of the summer programs to hire them to help cover some of the costs.
We've not been successful in doing that. However, some of the businesses do hire some kids to work in their own establishments and so forth. We're aware of that.
All right. Good. We can close it now.
If there's no more questions,
Huh?
If there's no more questions, yeah.
No more questions, we can close the public hearing. Thank you, City Manager. Keep up the good work, and thanks for getting this CBG back on straight and forward.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. All right, next we have the personnel. Any staff here? Oh, there she, oh, okay, thank you.
You didn't see me.
Oh, I see, I see. How you doing, Minister Galladay? How you doing today? Good to see you.
Same here. Good to see you. For the personnel department, from January to date, the HR department, we've been focusing on administrative tasks, recruitment, employee relations, compliance, benefits, onboarding, and risk management, and workers' compensation. The total employees as of today is 70. We had 2 new hires, one in the finance department and one in public safety, and 2 terminations, one in the human resource income tax department and public works.
Okay, any questions? Nope. All right, carry on, please.
Okay, for the city income tax. We've been busy this tax season, especially since my assistant abruptly resigned. So I'm the only one in the department in the middle of tax season. So I would like to ask everyone to please be patient.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if you submit your tax return, it's not going to be done the same day or the same week probably, because right now my time is basically just getting through the mail each day.
Okay.
The mail is absolutely horrible. So just getting through the mail each day and submitting payments is basically what my day is consisting of as of right now. So far, we have processed 385 resident tax returns and 939 resident tax returns. And tax returns are due for the city April the 30th.
April
It's
3rd.
always 15 days after the regular tax season ends. Also, as a reminder to everyone, I am receiving a lot of people that's submitting their payments, but not actually their tax return. And just as a reminder, the tax return for the city is the same as the federal and the state. You also have a local tax return that needs to be submitted to the office. Along with the payment. But just the payment doesn't really do me any good without the other information. Right now, the comparison from March 2024 to March 2025, our individual returns has gone up 70%. The withholdings have gone up 20%. Total deposits went up 47%. The refunds went up 34%. And the revenue is actually 950%. So we're doing good from last year to this year so far.
Good.
That's it.
That's it?
Question.
Any question? You have a question?
When you were saying you're using the combination of the federal and the state to determine the local, I thought how the formula is written out is when the federal, especially, is taken out, state's taken out, and then those who are residents get 1% from their checking, or the non-residents takes 0.5%. Does that money not go towards the city? Like it goes to the feds and to the state, and that would be accounted for in their W-2. And then when individuals fill out the 1040 or other forms, then that's going to be whether the amount that was paid exceeds that amount, or is that formula that additional tax could be placed on that individual or business when it's set at a 0.5% to 1%. I can see W-2. I'm trying to figure out how do the 1040s change things when the businesses deduct the 0.5% or 1%, and the QuickBooks and those formulas put that down as this is what was paid, or this is what was owed from those each checks, that percentage. How does that change?
I don't understand your question. This is like you went from one extreme to the other.
No, it's the same
Basically,
process.
To make it simple.
Okay, here we go.
So the
All right,
the simple solution as far as when you doing tax preparation, which this is not what we're doing here, I just basically stated that I actually need to see the income tax return. Just as everyone does their federal tax return as well as their state, I was just basically stating that you also have to turn in your local city tax return, which is 3 different tax returns that goes 3 different places. A lot of people just do their federal and think that all of a sudden that I'm supposed to automatically have their tax return, which is not the case. Just like when you do your federal, it goes to the federal government, the IRS. When you do your state tax return, it goes to the state of Michigan. Just like I need the local tax return that comes to my office.
Okay, are you saying, right, I think what you were saying was that, yeah, you were making the point that that the federal, state gets their form, you get your form, not that the individuals need to turn into you,
They
the
do.
federal and state,
No,
plus
they
your
do
local?
need to turn it to me.
They need to turn in all 3 to you?
No, sir, just the local, just the
Oh, that's what I
local
was
tax
saying. That's
return.
what I want to be clear on.
Well, yes, that's what I
Yeah,
stated.
that makes sense, that way, because the other way, it sounded like you were, 3 of them were coming to you, and I didn't understand.
No,
Well-
I get a lot of people that call and ask questions in regards to, well, I did my federal tax return, where's my refund? And I'm like, I don't have a tax return for the city. A lot of people have this misconception that if they just do their federal, that for some reason automatically, I don't know, I automatically get their tax return through God or somewhere, I'm not really for sure. But I'm just stating that I need that tax return either
Right, you need
mailed
the
to.
local city tax return.
That's correct, yes.
Right, that's the one you need, not the federal, not the state.
Well, it
but-
depends, it depends. Let's be clear. So everyone's tax return is different, just like everyone's tax return is different with federal and state. So therefore, if you have a local tax return and you're a resident and you have a business, I would need that Schedule C attached to your local tax return because it affects your income that's on a tax return for your local, which all of this is stated on a tax return. So therefore, if you have like a line item that says business income, it actually say attach Schedule C to this tax return. So if it states that in the line item that you have income in, that needs to be also provided on the local tax return.
Right, okay, I think that was where the confusion was at.
Yes,
Go
ma'am.
ahead, Mr. Wayne.
So, if I go to a tax service to have my taxes done, will they know that I need to file for the local city tax, or is that up to me?
So it depends. If you have, just say if your employer withhold local city income tax, your preparer will automatically know to do a local city income tax. But if your employer does not withhold city income tax, then no, they will not know automatically to do a city income tax. So it's left up to the individual to let them know that they need one.
All right, thank you.
Right.
And I'd like to mention one
ahead.
thing in regard to the personnel. I'm going to be creating some seasonal and part-time positions to deal with grass cutting and also the monitoring of the parking facilities. I made the determination this year that we were not going to go back the contracting route.
Okay.
Quite frankly, we spent $379,000 last year and did not get the job done very well. We decided we were not going there again. So that will start, that'll show up in the next process.
So you have will you show us the plan, the number of seasonal workers or?
It's going to depend on what I can find. Right now, I am working with Michigan Works and Mr. Gunther to get as many employees through them as we can that will be available to help us. But I'm going to have somebody to supervise and monitor what they're doing and that kind of thing. And if I can't get enough employees through there, I'll have to just hire them directly. Now, the ones that are coming from Michigan Works won't be on our payroll, they'll pay for them.
okay.
And that will help us some.
Yes.
But the whole idea is I'm looking to save some money.
That's the key.
And in fact, it's money that we really don't even have. I don't have $379,000 to pay anybody this year.
So yeah, that'll help bring this budget down for grass
Yeah.
cutting 100%. Dr. Tom.
Right, so what we're saying is that we're kind of bringing grass cutting or some other services, it seemed like you implied, in-house again and working with Michigan Works. Are we, Public Works may have it, do they have the grass hogs or the lawnmowers to do that? Where would the equipment come from?
We have the equipment to do it.
Excellent, okay.
Good deal. Good job.
Oh, last
Thank
point.
you, Mr.
And so we're going to be using city residents, correct?
If we can find them.
Okay,
That's the-
thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have financials. So we can put that. Do you have something on the screen? Okay. Financials, you can get them in your agenda items. You can see it. You can look it over. But anyways, where we at? From the,
You want me to pull it up?
yeah, you can show that up in there. Low cash balances are still an issue in the general fund, utility fund. If you're looking at your financials, first page. All right, you can see that the general fund as of 3/30/31/24 to 3/31/25 is about the same. The general, the city income tax is close to the same, but we just moved 450,000 from that, so.
Right. Honorable Chair, so am I at the ledger, because I don't have a ledger, all I see is the hyphen, so is that meaning
That means
no
no.
change from the previous?
Yeah, from the year to year, yeah.
Okay, so no previous change, okay.
Yeah. And major and local street fund, you can see we have increased that from year to date to this date. And permanent public improvement down a little bit. You can see utility funds is still as last year. We're saying just low. But property tax collection fund is up real high, so made improvements there. And utility fund cash flow collections were 400,000 in March, which was the same in February. The main reason for higher receipts is an increase in accounts that have been scheduled for shut-off. So the money is coming in, the payments are coming in. There are approximately 325,000 utility accounts past due over 60 days. As of today, represent 43% of the total accounts receivable balance of 752,000. Any questions about the financials? We are, I think,
I should add some
go ahead,
additional
City Manager.
comments just for clarification and understanding, because in addition to what we are doing in terms of annual operations and revenues, expenditures, and so forth, it's important to keep in mind that the city is continuously operating in something of a deficit position due primarily to the things that resulted from the emergency manager, specifically in the water department, which runs us about a $2 million a year deficiency, and the others in the area of the cemetery. You know, the cemetery had pretty much been self-sustaining for many, many years. And after that exercise, I don't even know why they messed with it, because it was separate and it was balanced. But they sold off all the equipment, and they gave all the revenue to the people that do the burials, and which leaves nothing to pay for the electric bill, insurance, water, grass cutting, trimming trees, fixing the streets, or anything that we are digging out of the general fund budget without a budget being there for it. And that's going to be the case for a number of years until we can get out of it. We're trying to do a number of things to improve the situation. Because in addition to those things having been done, one of the other big problems that this city has is, one, it has not adjusted its fee structure and rates in years. What we just did on the trash collection, I have a copy of the contract that was done with WeCycle in 2018. The monthly rate was $17.65. That's what it was when we just changed it a few weeks ago. It was still $17.65. And basically what that means, people seem to not understand, that for comparison, at the beginning of last year, dumping a ton of refuse up here at the landfill cost $55. Midway through the year, it was like $65. As the year ended, the figure was $70-something. Whenever you take that refuse up there, they're not going to let you dump if you don't pay them. So we pay them. But in essence, it's like we go in the jar that the money is in for picking up refuse, and we get about half of it, and the other half we got to reach over here and take out of what is budgeted there to do all these other things. Same thing with cemetery. There's no budget for it. There's no tax levy for it. And we just have to reach in and take it from someplace and then try to make it through as best we can. That's a process that we're going through. And I'm beginning to get the feeling I need to repeat that constantly to make people understand. Now, what we're hoping to do to begin to help improve that situation is just like the refuse rates were down, the collections on water and trash and so forth was basically non-existent. You just went through almost 4 years without anybody paying.
Yeah.
COVID.
And every time something like that happens, you gotta reach somewhere else to get the money. Now, just fortunately, the city had $10 million.
Yeah.
It's all gone.
Yeah. It's going.
Back to dealing with basics.
Mm-hmm.
And as we're looking at that, our fees for inspections, our fees for all kinds of, they've got to be increased.
Mm-hmm.
we were talking about something today that, one of the rates for violation was something like $5. Come on. You know, if you do the same thing anywhere else around, you would be looking at a $40 or $50 fine.
That's right.
$5 won't cover the cost that we have to go through just to collect the $5. We'd be better off to just ignore it. But in any event, I think it's important that besides looking at the numbers, we need to understand what's behind it.
Right.
Because the net effect of it on a regular basis is that we have bills that are unpaid until we can get the cash to do it. And because city revenues go up when the state share revenue comes in, goes down, taxes come in, it goes up, goes back down, and we have to try to work with that as best we can and try to pay our vendors and something continuously and try to keep it going.
Yeah, it's like you got to do a juggling act. Like you got to juggle and move
Absolutely.
money in the right directions and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
So, just for the cemetery, so we get nothing. So, but the city still paid electric, the upkeep.
Last year, our costs per month, just for the grass and picking up the brush and stuff, was $6,500 a month. In addition to that, if we had other stuff like having to fix the roads, people travel the roads through the cemetery to get to their loved ones, grades and so forth. If they start breaking off or getting potholes, it's got to be fixed. And we take it right out of Public Works and go out and fix it because it's our cemetery. And the people that are receiving services are our citizens and our customers, so we have to do it. But it is important to understand that there's no money coming for that purpose. We're having to take it from other places.
Oh, yes, Dr. Turner.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Chair. Three issues. So looking here, one, you spoke of the problems with the cemetery and that still being an issue and things are not written in stone about taking corrective action that before there was $75,000 that showed up, I think, before you got here. That was kind of misplaced. So in terms of, have we corrected the problem that the emergency managers caused, fixing that problem first, as well as looking at what happened trash-wise? Are we getting the best bang for the buck? Do we need to separate out and start to doing, as talked about, the recycling to decrease the bulk load to get us a better rate at the landfill? And the other one I want to know, have we, with the pension issue with the policemen, firemen, since they have like a separate body, and I see the tax millage, are in the process of trying to become whole and any negotiations to cut down that burden that was placed on the city? Those 3 points, Honorable Chair, through the chair.
City manager, respond to that.
I'm glad you happened to mention the pension because that's one that we often don't even think about. But we were about 50% funded. This past year, we had the good fortune to receive money from the state through a special action that the legislature took to help catch up part of the deficiency that we had in the pension fund. I believe it brought us up to above 60%. But once again, that is another deficiency area that we're constantly paying as best we can to try to catch it up. But the answer is no, it's not fixed. The earlier question you asked about fixing the water situation, we're working on it. And what that means is, for example, compared to the year 2023, this past, well, actually, 2024, and now this year, we were paying both the contractor F&V, and we had a number of city employees that were out there also. Basically, they were supposedly doing about some of the same things, and it didn't make sense to continue doing that. So we got the city, we let the city employees go and contracted the entire thing. And as a result, instead of a $2.5 million deficit, now it's a $2 million deficit. So it improved by what essentially is going to be roughly 20%. But we still got a lot more to go and things to try and get done in that area. There were a couple of other things you asked that I don't remember specifically, but I would.
Well, it was just taking corrective action. We knew that there are problems, and we can go to let the problem stay and pay it off, or what some governments do is they go and try to correct earlier errors that were in place so they're still not penalizing future generations. So I'm just saying that we can looking at the cemetery, and you mentioned, looking at pension, looking at trash, bad decisions or situations were made. Instead of bearing through them, is there any ways that the commission can help to take corrective actions or do things and legislate them to fix the problems that were created by previous administration, instead of bearing it, grunting it, and trying to raise money on individuals with fixed incomes, killing our senior citizen base, that part. Because they're not going to get any money. There's not going to be any COLA or nothing like that. They're just going to be called out, separated out, and sent to a nursing home or have to leave our city. So what can we do to try to take corrective actions on some of these mishaps of the emergency managers or just other bad decisions? Or can we identify those, correct those, and try to save money, and then do the other things that you're talking about?
We've identified them. We're working on solutions, but none of them are quick fixes. They are all will take years. Just like it took years to create the problem, it's going to take years to unravel and solve them. For example, the cemetery. Unless you had a tax levy, which no place I know of in America does, to pay for a cemetery, you are left to deal with the fees that are paid by patrons who use the cemetery. And the rates that we have are basically reasonable. You can't raise them enough to recover and cut this off. But we
Officer,
are.
can you help me?
Yes.
Can you help me to understand? We had it and we were doing well or maintaining, then we went into crisis. Can you help me understand how did we lose control? What happened? Unless this Commissioner Singleton or Eisen could explain how did we get here? What happened to put us in this situation at the cemetery?
The emergency manager who came in, who was
What did he do?
essentially usurped the power of the commission by a simple stroke of his pen, decided that he was going to sell all the equipment. He decided what he was going to sell it for. Didn't do any auctions or ask anybody, just sold it. And laid off the people that were out there. Said that the money that came in for funerals would be paid to a third party to do the burials. And I mean, if you really get down to thinking about it, the land that's there was the city's. We don't even get anything for our land at this point. But I am going through the contract there, looking for ways to try to see if we can reduce the load on us. But again, it's going to take some time. Same thing with, I mean, there's just numerous things that would do
But stay right there. So we sold equipment. Equipment can be replaced with public works or contractors at a lower rate come in and clean and maintain.
Where's the equipment going to come from?
What you said public works has grass cutting. But my thing is, you had said, so the money, there was money that was coming to the city, and then it was now redirected to a private contractor?
Yeah.
That the private contractor was not designed to maintain the cemetery grounds, but only to do burial,
all.
is that correct?
That's correct. That's correct.
Thank you for your questions, Dr. Times. Thank you, City Manager, for clearing it up. So the budget is, we 75.1% complete, and City Manager will be looking for the draft of the new budget pretty soon, hopefully. Thank you so much. Next, so if you have new business, downtown social district redevelopment liquor license policy.
Okay. As you will recall, some number of months ago, we were talking about establishing that social district in downtown, which we did. And in fact, I believe Monday night, we expanded the boundaries of it. And the reason for establishing it is that it focuses attention on a downtown commercial area. One of the things being that people who frequent one of the liquor establishments that are licensed to do so can purchase their drink in a cup that has an insignia on it to show what establishment it came from and that it's from a proper business in the district, and they can walk around through the area with it and take the time and look, shop, do whatever they want. What we're trying to do now, one of the advantages in the law that goes with this, because the whole thing is a development tool to try to help cities build up their businesses, their revenue, and so forth, to address just the kind of thing we're just talking about, new sources of revenue. The documents that we did present them, didn't we? They have them?
Copies.
Okay. Basically, will meet the requirements to enable us or a business within this specific area to acquire a liquor license through what's called a redevelopment liquor license. You all, I'm sure, are very aware of the issues that this city and others have had, and specifically us, where liquor licenses that are on the open market may be running $70,000, $80,000, $90,000, $100,000. We've even talked and complained about people buying them from businesses that have closed in some other city. And then suddenly we look up and we got a service station selling liquor, and we don't even know anything about it. That price for many business activities, 70, 80, 90, 100,000, becomes very prohibitive. What this does, the redevelopment liquor license, is enables a city that has a downtown development authority or a special redevelopment area to complete certain requirements and petition the Liquor License Commission to sell a liquor license for the actual price, about $20,000, which is a significant improvement and much more doable for somebody trying to start up a business or get one off the ground. And that's what we're doing, is setting the mechanism in place so that businesses within the district can come to us with the requirements that are set out in state law and file a request to get a redevelopment liquor license at the $20,000 rate. There's a number of things, and you'll see them in the material that was given to you, the kind of requirements they've got to meet. They have to do a license to get to us. And one of the things about that liquor license is it's only available within that district. If they go out of business or whatever, they can't transfer that license to someplace else. It has to stay in that district, or it goes back to the Liquor Commission.
So basically what it does is take the equity out of the license itself.
That's correct. And makes it just a simple, legitimate business operation expense. And I might say that we have one business already interested in, and as a matter of fact, that business is spending money right now preparing its building. And that's the gentleman that came in that we indicated we would support for a cigar store that he's wanting to also sell liquor at that. And as I said, if you ride by there, he's the next building down from our pad where they exercise. They're doing work every day in it. In addition, we were approached by the Clement about the area that they purchased there. And that used to be their paper company, and some additions they are planning on doing there. And I understand there's another business that's going to be going into part of that also may be requesting a liquor license. So that was why we expanded the boundaries, to make sure that we could cover that. Anything that we do of that nature, the more people that it brings into the downtown and the more activity, it just helps the city overall.
Oh, Representative Smith.
Who will be, like supervising?
We will, the city.
I'm talking about, so I'm downtown, you says it's a Pacific Cup that they'll be carrying with the liquor in it. Okay, so what if I have a different cup? Who's gonna come up and approach me?
Most likely the police.
So you saying it's gonna be police present downtown at all time doing this while we doing this social distance this summer?
There'll be police throughout the city, and especially in the downtown area if we've got, significant numbers of people, just as a part of regular public safety.
Okay, is the cup reusable?
Is what now?
Reusable, or is it a different cup, or is the cups?
It's a different cup.
for
And they're
every
not allowed-
day, or how is this being operated?
I'm sorry.
How is it being operated? It's only, you only can drink during certain days and certain hours downtown?
You can drink during any period that the businesses are open.
So,
Yeah, and the cups, each time you finish using one, you throw it away. If you go into.
I
back to
understand what
this-
you're saying,
and
but
get
you're not
another one.
understanding what I'm saying. I'm just speaking, I might want to keep my cup and
But
bring
you
it
can
back.
keep- you can-
That's what I'm saying.
No, you can't bring it back.
That's what
but
I'm
you
getting
can
at.
keep
Okay,
your cup.
okay.
Refill.
You understand what I'm saying? I'm coming back with a refill. I'm gonna bring my own. I'm gonna reuse that cup and bring my own liquor.
No, they'll give you, no, you can't do that.
Okay.
You can't
They
do
do
that.
put a date on it, on the cup.
Okay,
So
so
the
that's
sticker,
what
the sticker
okay.
has a spot for a date.
Yeah.
And so that's what they're gonna be looking for.
Yes.
Okay, that's
Yep.
what I
Yeah.
wanted to know. Will they be able to catch me?
Yes. So they will know if you were down here yesterday and got a
Okay,
cup, because
okay,
it's gonna have
okay,
yesterday's date
that's
on
what
it.
I'm
Yeah.
asking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. And as a matter of fact, you can't even take that cup from one establishment and go into another establishment. You can walk around within the area, but you can't go in there with it.
Yes, the one thing that America is actually based on is drinking and alcohol. And all restaurants would like to make sure that they can serve their patrons some form of alcoholic beverage. And when you go to other cities, that is a big ticket item, and it got to the point where they're push it where the movies, do it, even here. And so when we look at what happens with the whole marijuana stuff like that, that we undervalued given access. And so when I'm saying that, and you mentioned how remember I forgot the bar restaurant used to be right here down on the corner, owned by an African American gentleman. No, huh? Was it the Sheiks or somebody?
Sheiks, Office Lounge, a couple of them.
No, right here.
Right on Main Street,
Yep,
the Sheiks, yeah.
the Sheiks. And being able to purchase that liquor license or rent that liquor license. And then we had the crossroads with Kenny Harper, stuff like that. So the liquor license is a big ticket item that needs to be respected like a big ticket item, like a Ferrari, like a Mercedes Benz. And I think we treat it like it's a Volkswagen or a Hoopty. And in terms of, to me, that they're going to be generating income. Therefore, I think where we set the price needs to be better. This is not something the businesses are going to pay to accommodate for that liquor license. So lowballing a liquor license is not a wise thing. Making it competitive with other development districts, Ann Arbor, Grand Rapids, Detroit, that price should be up in there, because they're going to make that money back off the alcohol, period, and especially with events. So I'm asking, one, are we really looking at making sure that we've priced that liquor license at a rate that's beneficial and competitive in terms of on the higher end with other communities there, because you're going to have a lot of people down there doing restaurants, businesses that would love to have alcohol, and so everyone down there should be getting an alcohol license and allowing the city to benefit off of that. Yes, Commissioner?
Go ahead, Go
Go
ahead, Sam.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
but he got his hand
Commissioner.
up.
Go ahead.
I thought you were responding back to me. You get your hand up.
First of all, state set the price for the liquor license, which is the $20,000.
Mm-hmm.
Where those prices get kited up, like you say, the Ferrari is when I buy a liquor license and where it was set up, you can only have so many per area. So the state said, we're not giving no more in that area. but you can go see somebody else who may have a liquor license if you can buy theirs. So I'm holding on to these licenses. You need one. I'm gonna jack the price up for something that's, the price has already been set on, $20,000. So what's been happening, like say the new businesses or somebody, they come in thinking, okay, if I can get the $20,000 one from the state, it fits my budget. But if I can't get one from the state, now I gotta go find, Ali Shabazz or somebody to get their license, and it'll jack the price up because he's holding on something that's what they say, supply and demand, So I think this $20,000, this process, make the playing field level for businesses. So it's not, and the city don't control what the state charge for the license.
So Honorable Co-Chair, so does the 20 come to the city or it goes to the state?
That's the state fee.
So what does the city get?
You get $420.
$50?
It's $425 license for the fee to the city, right?
Use the processing,
Yep.
we get the income taxes from people who are working in these businesses.
Off the profit that the business make, you get taxed.
Profits that the
Yep.
businesses make. The spin-off business that goes to other things that are around in the downtown area that people might, like the restaurants, as you mentioned, and so forth.
Yeah.
This rate, as the commissioner said, is set by the state. It's the same whether it's in Benton Harbor, Detroit, or Ann Arbor, or wherever, it's the exact same amount. The same rule applies. If they shut down, you cannot take that outside of that, so that redevelopment districts or someplace else. You have to turn it back into the state.
So you do have control over the application fee, right?
Yes.
I thought you said it's fixed. That
Application,
No, the application for them to fill out the application.
For the city.
For the city.
Yeah.
For them to process their paperwork.
$425 a fee. So how many business was it? That it was 13?
Are you talking that's in the social district?
Yeah, how
So-
many it's gonna be?
But this is different. This is different than
Because we didn't expand
those
it.
because they already have
Have
liquor
the license.
licenses. This is for businesses that are located down in that area that don't currently have a liquor license and can't obtain one because there isn't any.
Oh, okay.
So this will allow them, because they're in this
Social.
redevelopment area,
Okay.
to purchase a liquor license that has to stay in that area. They're not allowed to sell it for the transfer price of $100,000 for somebody else to take it somewhere else. Has to stay there or they lose it.
But, okay, but the rate, you said the city controls. The 425 could be
The
$500.
application fee for them to apply to get this redevelopment license, the city controls.
Right, so 425 is no different. If the city wanted to do 500, it could have done 500. Is that correct?
Yeah,
Okay.
the city can set whatever, the
Whichever you want.
commissioners can set whatever fee
Okay.
they choose, yeah.
Right, so right now the 425 was arbitrary, or,
That was set, city, and part of the,
It's a pretty comparable to what some others.
well, you have open new territory, so that's what I'm saying, underballing, there's $75 more could do more for the city than just the 425. It could have just been a flat 500, and if people go for it, they go for it, they don't.
now, city, how long do the license last? Is this 1 year, is year to year? It's going on, okay.
It's a lifetime license?
As long as that business
Stay in business.
Yeah, that's a lifetime license if they keep going. So 425, I mean, is that set in stone, Honorable Chair? We can't go 500?
City manager, that's something, we'll look at it. Let's just get the,
And basically, some of the there are fees for services that the city charges. has to bear some relationship to what it costs.
Mm-hmm.
If you find out that it's taking more, cost more, then we would adjust it. But you never want to get too far out of balance.
Right.
It gets challenged. As a matter of fact, in my first go around with the city here, that happened, and I wound up having to come to the commission and authority to pay a firm to come in here and do a study.
All right.
Hear that
Go
clearly.
ahead, clerk.
Something else that I want to point out is, one of the criteria for this is that in the last 5 years, they have had to have public or private investment in real or personal property, not less than $200,000. Also, in the last 5 years, they've had to expend at least $75,000 in rehab or restoration of the building, or commit to $75,000. So that's putting money
Money into-
into that building,
Which in turns. the
which in
value-
turn is more value for the
That's
city.
right. Increases the taxes that the city receives. Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. One important question that she had brought to my attention, my co-rep, is that 425 pure and unadulterated, or is that 425 divided up with processing and paper and stuff like that? Is that a straight 425 that's brought in, or is it divided up when it comes in and goes here, goes there, goes there?
It's a straight 425 or 450, whichever the case is, that goes into the general fund. And it generally represents the cost of time and services put in by city staff to get it all completed and done.
All right, thank you, City Manager. Well, thank everybody for coming out tonight. And, Mr. Clark, you have a question? You gotta step up to the mic, please.
I was just going to ask you,
You gotta step up to the mic, though, 'cause you can't.
no, I'm not mad at the clerk, I was just wondering what Little League states thank you for everybody coming like you thought you can.
Yeah, 'cause the meetings, I'd like to move that forward.
Well, we're going to take this to Economic
You
Development
wanna take
Committee
that?
next week, yep.
Okay.
We just wanted to start the informing and discussion and getting understanding about
Okay.
what it's about. And next week, we'll take it to the Economic Development Committee, and we'll look from there for them to pass it on for action.
Okay. We got public comments, Miguel. Today your birthday, right? Happy birthday, Miguel. Happy birthday, Miguel. Thanks for coming to the meeting. Thanks for coming to the meeting. See there? You're in the right place. All right. Thanks to Dr. Tyne for showing up. Ain't seen you in a while, Mr. Smith. Singleton's a great meeting.
Nope, she helped me.
Mr. Chairman, if I could make one last comment, expect great things.
That's a great thing. That's right.